All right. Don't know where my controls are, but anyway, uh, this is a problem that we're going to add fractions like we've been doing. It's just a word problem, and we'll want to change the word problem to just an equation. And really, that's all we almost always ever do with math is change problems or write them in a different way. We're going to express this as an equation instead. Um, so it says at lunchtime at cafeteria served a total of 3/4 of a pot of chicken soup and a half a pot of soup. I'm sorry, a half a pot of onion soup. How many pots of soup were served in all? In other words, we're going to add what they um, served with chicken soup and what they add with what they served in onion soup. Let me write down what I just said. We're going to add, this is where we change the word problem to a math problem, the 3/4 from the chicken and the 1/2 of a pot, 1/2 of a pot from the onion soup. Okay. Now, whenever we want to add or subtract fractions, we want to have the same denominator, same denominators, or a common denominator. We have a 4 and a 2 right now. And that won't work for us. A 4 and a 2, we want them both to be 4, since 4 is the lowest common multiple. And so to do that, I'm going to say one thing but write something else. I'm going to multiply 1/2 times 1. Now, I'm going to do what I said, but watch how I write it. Instead of writing it as a 1 here in blue, I'm going to write it as 2/2, because that will give me what I need here. The 3/4 will still have our common denominator, the 4 there, but this blue and black part right here will multiply the numerator to get 2. 1 times 2 is 2, and the denominator will be 2 times 2, which is 4. So let me use a different color here. Use a red here. Okay, so the numerator will be 1 times 2, which is 2, and the denominator will be 2 times 2, which is 4. Okay, so I want to repeat what I think I said a little bit earlier. A lot of times all we're going to do is rewrite something in a different way. The red 2/4 is the same thing as 1/2, but it's written in a different way. It's written or expressed in a way where our denominators are the same, and that's really the only way that we can add or subtract fractions. We'll do the subtraction later. Now that we have it with the same denominator, common denominator, and that denominator is 4, our answer will have a 4 for its denominator. And to find the numerator, all we need to do is add 3 plus 2, which is 5. So our answer is going to be 5/4. And one more time I want to say this. Often, almost always in math, we can express things in more than one way. So we can express this as 5/4, which this problem said we can do. We can express it as a fraction, but we can also express it as a mixed number. And we had a module where we converted these. Let me shrink this so we have a little bit more room to write this as a mixed number. If we wanted to change this to a mixed number, what we did before was divide this. If we divide 5 by 4 with a long division symbol, 5 divided by 4, well, 4 goes into 5 once. And let me change the color here. Let me put a green here. 4 goes into 5 once. And then 1 times 4, we're going to multiply these two. 1 times 4 is 4. Now we're going to subtract. And when we do that, we get 1. I'm just going to use a different color here. We get 1. Remember, to write this as a mixed number, we start at the top, and then we go clockwise this way. We've got a 3-part answer. The first part of our answer is the red 1. That's the whole number part. The second part of our answer is the blue 1. It's not always going to be the same number there. And the last part of our answer, the denominator, is the 4. So if you go clockwise like you did, first the 1, then this 1, and then the 4. 1 1/4 is the other way to write this answer. So you can either write your answer as, I can't fit it all in here. Actually, I'll blow it up and I will be able to. We can either write it as 5/4, or we could write it as 1 1/4. So let me 5/4 or 1 1/4. Either are correct. Either one of those are correct when they say you can do that. Sometimes they'll say they want you to write it one way. Sometimes they'll say that they want you to write it in a different way. So make sure you read the instructions carefully and and um, and write it the way that they ask you to. All right. So I'm gonna. If anybody has any questions, you can tell me now, and if not, you can go on to your modules. I just need to stop this recording here. I'm not sure why it's not stopping. All right, there we go.